Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G, John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Wednesday only here on Oldies and More Radio. Also live, broadcasting live on the web, on YouTube, Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. Glad you can join me for this Wednesday evening. We're here from 9 to midnight with Soul 45's, all 60s records out of my touch of the 70s. I think tonight I got a couple 70s records, just really like 1970. So you know how the years overlap a little bit there. So welcome here on this kind of cool day for a May 17th here. But we opened up tonight's broadcast with a request for listener Paul Greco in Philadelphia. It's the debut single for this group from Memphis, Tennessee, known as the Bar-Kays. Their biggest hit was called Soulfinger, charted number 17 on Billboard and Cashbox, made it up to 17, the same number there. Number 3 on the R&B, a big number 1 record on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland, and that's from April 1967. The Bar-Kays on Volt, their tune called Soulfinger. Now, the sad thing about this group, the Bar-Kays, on the December 10th of 1967, Otis Redding and 4 members of the Bar-Kays, guitarist Jimmy King, organist Ronnie Caldwell, saxophonist Phelan Jones, and drummer Carl Cunningham all perished when the airplane they were in crashed into Lake Monona, I think that's it, Lake Monona, near Madison, Wisconsin. There was a survivor. The lone survivor was the trumpeter Ben Cawley, and the bassist for the group, he took another plane, James Alexander. He was on another plane to meet them there for this concert in Madison, Wisconsin, but it just never happened, unfortunately. But Cawley and Alexander, they would rebuild the group, the Bar-Kays, and they had releases well into the 1980s, but a very sad ending there for, of course, the great Otis Redding and 4 members of his band, the Bar-Kays. But that one there, by special request for Paul Greco. I haven't checked out everybody in the chat room yet. So enough of my babbling here. Let's open up the vocal portion as we stay in actually, it's not Philadelphia. It's Chester, Pennsylvania for this group. It's on Luther Randolph's Hawthorne record label, who discovered this group. This is their debut single. I'm featuring the intended B-side, and it features a young Ellis Hall on lead. He's either 9 or 10, I think, on this, but it's from 1966. Let's give a listen to the Twilights on the Hawthorne label. It's called She's Gonna Put Me Down, the Twilights.
I love the girl.
1966 release there for the Twilights. That's on the Hawthorne record label. Ellis Hall on lead. She's Gonna Put You Down is the name of the tune. We'll send that one out to Grace in our YouTube chat room. Grace will be here, Mom. Grace will be here early tomorrow at 8:30, so she told me to give you the message. Well, she actually asked me, she said it was, I told her it was okay, Grace, you can come in tomorrow at 8:30 to come in and take care of my parents tomorrow. So Grace will be here tomorrow. We'll send that record out to her. And their second release, this group, the Twilights, they had a second release that came out on Hawthorne. The song was called Shipwrecked. Some of you may own that 45 on the Parkway label. That featured a female lead, 9-year-old Brandy Wells. She was the lead on the song Shipwrecked. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. We're on Oldies and More Radio from 9 to midnight, and we're here also on YouTube if you're watching Johnny G spin the 45s. If you're new to the program, please subscribe. We're almost up to 1,000 subscribers. When we get up to 1,000 subscribers, I will be on, I think on Monday afternoons at 1 o'clock. I'm going to try it on Friday afternoons too. We'll see, because it depends if I pull enough 45s for my Saturday and Wednesday night shows. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. Let's continue here. And this gal, she's from Santa Cruz, California. She was the first white female singer to have a hit record on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown empire. Her first 4 releases came out on the Motown subsidiary VIP Records. That was 1966 and 1967. She had 2 releases, though, on the parent label, Motown Records. Let's give a spin to her second, which is actually a cover song. This tune, first recorded by Mary Wells back in 1964. They were ready to release this as the follow-up to My Guy, but it was held back because of her lawsuit against Motown Records, so they pulled it back. I think it was later released on an LP, possibly. An LP, I think. But really, the first true recording of this on a single was by the Supremes. It was the B-side of their big hit, Back in My Arms Again. So if you have that 45, you got to play your flip sides. You'll hear a rendition by Diana Ross and the Supremes of this tune. But this is actually the third rendition of the tune. Her name is Chris Clark. This was number 18 on WILS in Lansing, Michigan. We go to February 68. Miss Chris Clark on Motown. It's called Whisper You Love Me, Boy.
Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you love me, boy. Say the word you seldom say. Love me more each passing day. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Just the way you used to do when our love was true. It's been so long since you held me in your arms. Oh, the joy it brings hearing you say sweet things. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Make it sound soft and clear. Let me know your love sincere. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is pure. Make me feel real sure. The way you treat me just isn't fair. Come on once in a while. Tell me you care. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is true. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you need me. You used to say that you loved me the most, but now you hardly ever hold me close. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is true. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you need me. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is true. Tell me that you love me. Tell me that you need me. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is true. Tell me that you love me, tell me that you need me. Whisper you love me, boy. Whisper you need me, boy. Tell me that your love is true.
Cover tunes here on the 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's Chris Clark's version of Whisper You Love Me Boy, February 1968 on the Motown record label. We continue. We go back to Philadelphia, and this group had a #1 hit with their debut single. Came out on the Parkway label back in 1963. Maybe you know the song. It was called So Much in Love. That was their first of 8 on the Parkway record label. Then they signed with MGM Records for 2 releases. Let's give a listen to their first. This one written by Billy Jackson and Jimmy the Whiz Wisner, who also arranged it. This charted number 45 on WROZ in Evansville, Indiana. It features George Williams Jr. on lead. We go back to May of 1966. These are the Times on MGM. It's called Street Talk. Those are the sound. That's the sound of the Times there. The Times with George Williams Jr. on lead, May 1966. That's their first release on MGM Records. Street Talk is the name of the tune. And it was unfortunate, though, that we lost George Williams Jr. He passed away July 28th of 2004 at the age of 68 from cancer. But we remember him here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue now. Let's go to Chicago now. This singer, born Eugene Dixon, he was the lead singer of the Duquesnes, first recording for Nat Records back in 1960. 1961, he took his last name from his favorite actor, who was Jeff Chandler. So he became Gene Chandler, had a #1 hit with the Duke of Earl. I know you remember that tune, which was originally recorded for Nat Records, but VJ, they purchased the master and released it as Gene Chandler. Now, he had a total of 10 releases on VJ Records. Let's give a listen to his 8th. It's unfortunate this record only bubbled under at number 114 for about a week, but it was a big number 10 record on WDON in Wheaton, Maryland. Let's go to September of 1962. For Mr. Gene Duke of Earl Chandler. That's how it is on the label, on VJ Records. And it's a very, very, I should say, violent song. The name of the tune is called Tear for Tear.
Tear for tear, I'm gonna pay you back. I've counted every tear, and if it takes all year, you won't get away. I'm gonna make you cry until your eyes run dry. I'm gonna make you pay, baby, tear for tear. Whoa, yeah, yeah. Life for life, I'm gonna pay you back. I've counted every lie and every alibi right up to this day. I'll make you laugh for life. I'll treat you true for true. It's gonna be an eye for an eye. Ooh, baby, 2 for 2. I'm gonna make you cry until your eyes run dry. I'm gonna make you pay, baby, tear for tear. Oh yeah, life for life, I'll treat you true for true. It's gonna be an eye for an eye. Oh, baby, 2 for 2. I'm gonna make you cry until your eyes run dry. I'm gonna make you pay, baby, tear for tear. Come on, baby, cry. Don't you cry like you did before, yeah. Come on now and cry, 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 cry.
Told you it was a violent, I told you it was a violent song. That's Mr. Gene Chandler. Actually, it's Gene Duke of Earl Chandler from September 1962 on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. That's his 6th release on VJ. Tear for Tear is the name of the tune. Gene Chandler, always great stuff that he puts out. As we continue now, and let's go back to Philadelphia now for another. This is a girl group. Initially, they recorded as the Yum Yums on the ABC Paramount record label. I Need That 45. I'm jealous of somebody I know that has that 45, but I'm still looking for it. But they became Honey and the Bees. They had 5 releases on the Arctic record label. Let's give a spin to their first. The tune written by Richard Parker, arranged by Mike Terry. It features Nady Felder on lead. We go to February of 1966. They're called Honey and the Bees on Arctic Records. It's called I'm Confessin'.
When you're with me, baby, the feelings get stronger.
from February 1966 there. That's Honey and the Bees. Honey and the Bees on the Arctic record label out of Philadelphia. I'm confessing the name of the tune, Nadie Felder. She's the lead singer on that. And they have other releases on Josie Records, also recorded for the Bell label. Don't ask Johnny G to flip that 45 over. It's a blank flip side. That is a one-sided DJ copy. Of course, I'm looking for the stock copy on those. You know, I told these dealers when I would buy these 45s, you know, if they're one-sided or same song on both sides, well, really, let's check that. One-sided 45s, depending on what the record is, some of them go for a lot of money. I don't know about that one there, but that was, you know, that was found out in the wild for a quarter. Really can't go wrong finding records like that for a quarter. This one I also found for 10 cents. You can't go wrong with this next song either. This singer born in Nashville, Tennessee, but he was raised in Cleveland, Ohio. First recorded as a member of the 1950s group The Future Tones. That's a rare 45. Came out on the Tress record label. I play that on my Saturday night show. His name was Charles Hatcher. And in 1965, he signed with Rick Tick Records. And on his first release, he changed his name to Edwin Starr. Had 6 releases on the Rick Tick record label. Let's give a listen to his fourth. This one written by Al Hamilton, Richard Morris, and the lead singer, Mr. Edwin Starr. Charted number 92 on Cashbox, 84 on Billboard. A big number 4 record if you were tuned in to WJLB in Detroit, Michigan. We go to April 1966. Mr. Edwin Starr on Rick Tick Records. It's called Headline News. That's the great sound of Edwin Starr there. That's his follow-up to Stopper on Sight, SOS. Song entitled Headline News, April 1966, Rick Tick Records. Headline News. It's going to be Headline News when Johnny G gets to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so we're very close. I was 9 away from the other night. Got up to 991. We got to get to 1,000. We continue here. Here's a request for listener Paul Greco. Paul Greco out of Philadelphia. He's in our YouTube chat room. He requested this group from Jersey City, New Jersey. They had 14 14 releases on Joe Evans' Carnival record label. Paul requested the group's fourth release, written by group member Edward Sonny Bevins, produced by label owner Joe Evans. This song, unfortunately, just bubbled under on the Billboard Hot 100 at number 135, but a big number 3 record on WBBE in Chicago, Illinois. So we send this one out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room, March 1965. It's the sound of the Manhattans on the Carnival label with their tune called I'm the One That Love Forgot. This is for Paul.
Nobody loves him. Nobody cares. No one to hold. No one to kiss. Don't you know now? I have no one at all. No one to miss. I'm the one love for. Don't let me be that one love forgets. Oh no, 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 no. Some love, a little love, big love or small. What good is life, baby, 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 without any love at all? I'm the one love for. Don't let me be that one love forgets. Oh no, 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 no. A heart full of pain, nothing to look forward to and nothing to gain. I'm the one love forgot. Don't let me be that one love forgets. Oh no, 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 no. I laugh though I wanna cry. I live though I wanna die. But I've got my pride, don't you know? And I'll be hurting deep down inside. No one to help me, help me, help me, help me. When I feel blue. No one to say, darling, 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 I love you. I'm the one love for. Don't let me be that one love forgets. Oh no, no, no. Don't let me sit here crying, baby. Come back and take this head off me, baby. Oh yeah. I can't be that one.
As March 1965 release there, going out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room, listening in Philadelphia there. The sound of the Manhattans on the Carnival record label. I'm the One That Love Forgot is the name of the tune. Now, after Carnival, of course, they signed with Deluxe Records. Of course, that's the same group, I think, that went on to record all those records on Columbia Records. Had a slew of hits in the 1970s and 80s, but the great sound of the Manhattans. And we have my oldies and more radio public announcement here. Have to do it every hour here. We do it around 9:30 or so. So please support us. Now, Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 1950s, 60s, and the early 1970s, 24/7, 365 days a year. And Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by you, our listeners. And all the DJs like me and the staff volunteer their time. Our only source of support they're donations from our listeners. Donations will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting, and rental of our radio server. So you can make a donation by using PayPal. The link is on our webpage. If you go to www.oldiesandmoreradio.com, just click on the Support Us tab. Any support is welcome. If you can't send anything, you're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room. And thank you and welcome to Oldies and More Radio, and welcome to Johnny G and the Vinyltreasure show. So let's continue here with the 60s show. We just heard the Manhattans from March of 1965. This gal, she's originally from Corbin, Kentucky. Her real name was Reba Jeanette Smith, but she recorded using different aliases. First, in 1959, she recorded as Debbie Stevens with releases on Apt and ABC Paramount. Then in 1961, she recorded for Motown Records as Debbie Dean and became the first white solo artist to record for Motown. Then in 1964, she moved out to Los Angeles, California, but she was still under contract with Motown Records. But she sold two of her masters, or her manager sold two of her masters to Juggy Murray, the owner of Sue Records, and he put them out on this single under another alias. She was known as Deborah Dean by this time, and it was produced by Ken Harris, who I think was her manager. This is from June of 64. Deborah Dean, aka Debbie Dean, on Sue Records. It's called Don't Bug Me, Baby.
Bug me, baby. I'll stop wasting my time. Cause I know from the times before that you were lying. You think you can string me out, but I know what it's all about. So, don't bug me, baby. Don't bug me, baby. Keep your paws on me, baby. Spin the spider web, baby, and go on your merry way.
Interesting. She sounds like she's stealing a line with that "yeah, yeah, yeah" from Martha and the Vandellas record. But anyway, that is Deborah Dean, a.k.a. Yes Warren, Debbie Dean, June 1964. It's on Sue Records. "Don't Bug Me Baby" is the name of the tune. It's unfortunate, though, that we lost her. She passed away on February 17th of 2001. A lot of these singers no longer with us, but we do remember them. They will forever be entrenched on vinyl and in our minds, especially here on the Vinyltreasure show. Now, this next singer is another singer we recently lost too, as he is originally from Lynchburg, Virginia, but he would become a member of the Drifters in 1959. He did leads on such hits as "Sweets for My Sweets," "When My Little Girl Is Smiling." He also he went solo in 1969 with two releases on High Weiss's Old Town record label out of New York. This was his first, and it's actually a cover tune. This song was originally recorded by the Blossoms. Darlene Love and the Blossoms did this in 1967 on Reprise Records, a tune written by Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. Let's give a listen to this rendition by Charlie Thomas. Charlie Thomas, 1969 on Old Town Records, his rendition of the tune "Good, Good Lovin'."
This crazy world has got me going. When I feel hung up and strung up tight, when I just feel like crying, 'cause nothing's satisfying, I know what I've got to get to see me right, baby, baby. All I need is your good, good loving, baby. That will pick me up before I count to 10. I tell you, just a little bit of your good, good loving make this big bad world feel good again. Now we all get these days when we're downhearted, and just a job of living is hard, so hard. When that happens to me and I get feeling gloomy, I know what a guarantee will see me through, baby, baby. All I need is your good, good loving. I tell you, that will pick me up before I count to 10. All I need is your good, good loving. Make this big bad world feel good again. Oh, baby, 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 baby. All I got to pick me up before I count to 10. I tell you now, all I need is that good, sweet loving. Got to make this big bad world feel good again. All I need is your good, good loving. I tell ya, got to pick me up before I count to 10. I tell ya, baby, all I need is your good, good loving. Make this big bone swell. My Lord, feel good again.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition from 1969. That's Drifters lead singer Charlie Thomas on High Weiss's Old Town record label, the first of two. His rendition of the tune "Good, Good Lovin'." He has one more single, I think, on MusicCore, I think from 1974. And we just lost Charlie Thomas January 31st, 2023 from liver cancer. He was 85 years old, but there he was from 1969 here on the Vinyltreasure show. Let's continue here. Yes, Mark, I do. No, you're going to want me to flip this 45 over here. Here's a group from Jersey City, New Jersey that made their debut back in 1964 on Jerry Lieber and Mike Stoller's Redbird record label. The song was called I Wanna Love 'Em So Bad was their name of their tune. Their follow-up was in September 64. It was called Baby Be Mine. This quartet consisted of sisters Elsie and Maxine Herbert, Alma Brewer, Diane Taylor, and the only male member of the group, he was the bass of the group, Charles Thomas. Now, after their second release on Redbird, the group became a trio, which was three girls, and they had this release on the Esky label, written by the ex-male member, Charles Thomas. They were Elsie Herbert, Maxine Herbert, and Diane Taylor. Collectively, they were known as the Jelly Beans. This was their final release from November 65. It's on the Esky label. A little bit pricey on this record, the Jelly Beans. It's called You Don't Mean Me No Good. That's the final single for the Jelly Beans, November 1965 on the Esky record label. Song entitled You Don't Mean Me No Good. Gonna do instant requests. I can do instant requests. I had a request for What Becomes of the Broken Hearted and also one of the Miracle tunes here. You know, it's very difficult for Johnny G to play original vinyl. I have 190,000 45s, so if I'm going to go and take requests if I have them up in the back here behind me, I have some singles behind me, I have to find them. It's not like most of the disc jockeys that just grab an MP3 and drag it to their player. I don't do that. I play real records like it used to be, like the DJs used to be. The only thing I do differently is I don't backspin my 45s. I never do that. You never should do that on a styrene 45, by the way. Really, even if you do it enough times on a vinyl, you're going to get that Q burn in the beginning. Some people have, and they always make comments, Johnny G's got a Q burn on that 45, and they are correct. But anyway, we're going to flip this 45 over for an instant request for Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. He wants Johnny G to flip over the Jelly Beans from November 65 on the Esky record label, You Don't Mean Me No Good. The flip side here is called I'm Hip to You. This is going out to Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Instant requests here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. We can do it here on the 60s show. I can flip over a 45 if you like, if you let me. If you know it's good and you really like the tune, I will flip it over. That is a great two-sided 45, I must say. That one there going out to Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. That's the sound of the Jelly Beans, November 1965. It's on the Esky label. It's called I'm Hip to You. For you collectors out there, I prefer this style label versus the painted on crappy styrene. Johnny G hates styrene 45s. Thank goodness this next 45 is not styrene. As we stay in New Jersey, this time Newark, New Jersey, with this request for listener Adrian Viterbo. He's listening down in Mexico. Now, this group first recording back in 1960 for the Milo record label. They were known as the Foremost. Then with their next release, which was 1963, recorded for the Fantasy label, Adrian requested their very next release, which came out on Jerry Cohen's DW label. This is from October 1964. It features Bobby Moore on lead, and it's a song he wrote. This is by request for Adrian in our YouTube chat room, October 1964. The Foremost on DW. It's called It Was a Lie.
Saw you standing on a corner. You was talking with another guy. I saw him whisper something in your ear, but I knew, pretty baby, that he was telling a lie. Whoa, it was a lie. 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 So now you're back here crying on my shoulder. But let me tell you, baby, you too late. Oh, I know how you feel. I said I know how you feel. The reason why I know, I felt the same way too. Another thing I want to tell you, I know everybody in the world knows that you never miss your water till where is that? Drop. It was a lie. 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 You believe it.
That's going out to Adrian listening in Mexico there. The great sound of the Foremost, October 1964. Bobby Moore and the Foremost. That, on the original label, I played it on DW Records. It Was a Lie is the name of the tune. This would get re-released on Redbird Records in July of 1966 as Bobby Moore and the Foremost, with the Foremost with that separation as four and then most. But the first press of that from October 64, one word, the Foremost. Let's continue here here for this next group as we head out to Detroit, Michigan. They were called the Seminoles. They had releases on the Goji label, I think Checkmate, and also Highlight Records. And in late 1962, when lead singer Joey Finazzo left the group, he was replaced by a new lead singer, Sal Prado, and they changed their name to the Embers. And then they had this song originally released on the Act 4 label, but the record went nowhere. But they shopped it around, and it was picked up by Midtown, and they decided to switch their name back to the Seminoles. And this version is, I think, a tad shorter that they put out, but it features Sal Prado on lead. We go to April of 1965. These are the Seminoles on the Midtown label. It's called You Can Lump It. April 1965 release there for the Seminoles on the Midtown record label. Sal Prado on lead for that one. You Can Lump It is the name of the tune. Boy, that is a nice way to say something really nasty that people say today. They should be saying things like that instead. Why don't you go, say that? You can say, why don't you just go lump it? That's an easier way to say it. You don't have to say those nasty words. I say those nasty words, though, when I get really irate. You can ask Charlene about that. Anyway, let's continue here. Or you can ask my mother. You can ask her in the chat room there. If she could answer, she would. Anyway, we continue here. Been featuring this gal, Jackie Ross, 45's, over the last month now. And she's out of St. Louis, Missouri. And her biggest hit was her first release on the label. I did play it, a song I like by her, Selfish One. Now, last week I featured her follow-up to Selfish One, second of 7 on Chess, called I've Got Skill. Now, let's give a spin to her 6th release, and I recently played the original version of this song, as done by Evie Sands on Blue Cat, and I think it was Paul Greco that said, I think, Paul, you said to me, well, I like this record. It's kind of it's kind of repeating over and over in my mind. I played it by Evie Sands on Blue Cat. That one came out in July of 1965. Now, Jackie's version was also rushed out that same month, and it charted number 25 on KDIA out of Oakland, California. So this version and the original by Evie Sands were out at the same time. So we go to July of 1965 for Jackie Ross's version of the Evie Sands tune called Take Me for a Little While. This is on the Chess label.
I've been trying to make you love me, but everything I try just takes you further from me. You don't love me, so you treat me cruel. But no matter how you hurt me, I'll always be your fool. But if you don't want me forever, and if you don't need me forever, and if you can't love me forever, take me for a little while so I can hold you, baby, so I can make you want me. I've just gotta stop it. There should be a law, 'cause every time you put me down, I love you more. I'm feeling so helpless, and it ain't funny, honey, no, no. 'Cause deep down inside, I know you're never gonna love me. But if you don't want me forever, and if you don't need me forever, and if you can't love me forever, take me for a little while so I can hold you, baby, so I can make you want me. So I can hold you, baby, so I can make you want me. I'm so helpless without you, honey, yeah. Oh, I need you, baby. I can
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is Jackie Ross's version of Take Me for a Little While, originally done by Evie Sands. That one there, July 1965 on Chess Records. And that was that. I said that was her sixth release, her sixth of seven on the Chess record label. Let's continue now for this next singer. He's out of Chicago. His real name, Lee Charles Neely, but he first recording back in 1967 for Daycar Records. Now, he would have two releases, his next two on the Review label. Let's give a spin to the B-side to his second release, a tune written by Floyd Smith, Gerald Sims, and Eugene Record. This is from July 1968. Give a listen to Lee Charles. Lee Charles on Review Records. It's called Wrong Number.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. After I gave you everything in my power to make you happy, baby, you turn your back on me. Still I'm waiting, oh, anticipating that you were coming back to me. Now you are here with the same old line. But woman, I've got you, whoa, whoa, I've got you this time. You picked the wrong number in the wrong city, oh, the wrong time. One more thing. Everybody knows at the ballpark, I know you've been there, baby, that is 3 strikes and you out. 1, 2, 3. You know when you left me, I
took you back. This is my reason why Lee's heart was still in doubt. But would you believe love ain't no game? Because I feel it in my soul and I got it in my mind. You picked the wrong number, the wrong city, the wrong time. Yeah. After loving you for such a long time, somehow I can't get over you. Listen, for it's no good when you love someone, baby, and you have to guess if he or she loves you too. Listen, but I'm not saying that I don't still love you, but if I did, I would surely be like. For I'm tired of you hurting me, and I'm tired of you deserting me, and you never seem to stop your alibi. But would you believe love ain't no game? You know I feel it in my soul when I call your name. You picked the wrong number, the wrong city, the wrong time. Yeah, good. You picked the wrong number in the wrong city. You got the message, baby. Good, good. You picked the wrong number in the wrong city.
That's the sound of Lee Charles. Lee Charles from July of 1968 came out on the Review record label, song entitled A Wrong Number. And what I say here, this record, his next release came out for the Brunswick label. This side was used as a B-side there, has later releases on Bamboo Records, actually quite a few on Bamboo, and also Wand and Hot Wax Records into the 1970s. And Dakar, Mark Speck mentions that Dakar Records leased the masters out to Review and probably to Brunswick also. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition, and here is a request for listener Paul Greco, listening in Philadelphia. He's in our YouTube chat room. Now, this group, they're from Memphis, Tennessee. They formed while they were attending Booker T High School in Memphis, Tennessee. Their debut, 45, came out in November of 64 on the Stax label. Then the label moved them over to the subsidiary Volt Records, where they put out 15 singles for this group. This was their first, produced by Charles Axton. It features John Gary Williams on lead. This charted number 95 on Billboard, number 90 on Cashbox, number 11 on the R&B chart, and a big number one record on KDAY. If you were listening in Los Angeles, California, we go to July of 1965 for the sound of the Mad Lads. This is going out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room on Volt Records. It's called You Don't Have to Shop Around, for Paul.
I found the love that my heart has been longing for. I don't have to shop around, shop around, shop around anymore. And I found the love that my heart has been longing for. She'll never put me down, put me down, put me down anymore. No more
That's going out to Paul Greco in our YouTube chat room listening in Philadelphia there. The Sound of the Mad Lads. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee. That's their first release on the Volt label from July of 1965. You don't have to shop around. No, you don't. You got to tune into the Vinyltreasure show Wednesday nights for cool soul 45s. Out of Johnny G's collection, we spin them from 9 to midnight Eastern time. Usually do about a half hour overtime. We're getting up to the 1,000 subscribers. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers, I'll be able to do shows at 1 in the afternoon. That means those of you over in the UK will be able to tune into the specials I'll be doing probably on Monday and Friday nights. I don't know. We'll see. Johnny G should be spinning records all week long. I wish I had the time to. But let's continue for this next singer. He's out of Washington, D.C. His debut single came out on the local Claytown label, which was then picked up by Brunswick Records. It's produced by Freddie Perrin, written by Eugene Todd and Leon Barber, and I have it on the Brunswick label. I don't have it on the first label, Claytown. Charted number 45 on WAMO in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Let's go to August of 1965. Give a listen to Bobby Reed. Bobby Reed on Brunswick Records and his tune called You Are.
You're my food when I'm hungry, my drink when I'm thirsty. You're everything a lover should be, and that's why I say, oh baby, you are my love, my love. Baby, you are my love. Girl, I couldn't live without you, for you've got that certain something about you. You're the cream for my coffee, sugar for my tea. You're everything a lover should be, and that's why I say, no, baby, you are my love, my love. Baby, you are my love, yeah. From out of nowhere, you came into view. Now I'm completely in love with you. You are my heart's desire, and you set my soul on fire. You're my food when I'm hungry, my drink when I'm thirsty. You're everything a lover should be, and that's why I say, now, baby, you are my love, my love, my love, my love, my love, my love.
That's the sound of Bobby Reed here on the All 60s edition. That's a great find for 10 cents. You really can't go wrong spending 10 cents for that record. August 1965 on Brunswick Records. You Are is the name of the tune, and has one on the Loma label in 68, and then another on Bell in May of 1970. I think he has one final release on Abbott Records in 19 or 2 maybe in 72. But it was always fun looking for records in the wild when I had no money. And then as I started moving up the corporate ladder, I told this story before, I started buying records, and people started to gravitate to me. I don't know what it was. Oh, he's paying for records. Let's offer him this record. Johnny, I want $5,000 for this. I want $4,000 for that. Now listen, I've already overspent. So, but I never paid that much for a 45. I will, there is an amount that I will pay for 145, and I'll tell you, it starts with a 3, and that's how high I will go. Won't go any more than that, although I can't do that now, but I am starting to buy a little bit more. I'm dabbling into buying some 45s, so we'll be continuing with that because I just love the music. I'm passionate about the music. As we continue here, Charlene nor I could find information on this gal, so if anybody has any information, please send it to me at vinyltreasures@aol.com. She has 2 overall releases. First, in 1964, she has one on 20th Century Fox, and I'm featuring her second, which came out on the Decca label. Now, the interesting thing is that it mentions on the label a Cala Records production, so maybe this was recorded for Cala Records and they leased this master out to Decca, a high possibility. But it's produced by Gregory Carroll. Let's go to June of 1965. Give a listen to Anna Craig. Anna Craig on the Decca label. It's called Shout and Tell the World.
Well, you make me wanna shout and tell the world. You make me wanna shout and tell the world. You make me wanna shout and tell the world that I am the one that you love. Once I thought love was a fantasy, and cheap, but I used to think that no one cared for me. And oh, but you came along with a love so strong and showed me in many ways that I was wrong. I wanna shout and tell the world. Just wanna shout, shout, baby, and tell the world. Make me wanna shout and tell the world that I am the one that you love. Oh, I wanna tell the world how you treat me so kind. And gee, baby, just wanna tell the world that you're mine, oh mine. Oh, baby, you're so lovable. Gee, but I know that you're wonderful. You make me wanna shout and tell the world. You make me wanna shout, baby, and tell the world. You make me wanna shout and tell the world that I am the one that you love. Shout and tell the world. Just wanna shout, baby, and tell the world. You make me wanna shout and tell the world that I am the one that you love. Shout, baby, and tell the world.
That's the sound of Anna Craig. Who asked me to? Mark, did you ask me to flip over the Anna Craig? I see Charlene sent me an instant. I am. Somebody asked me to flip this 45 over. Who did? I can't see there. Who sent it? Charlene, who told me that? We're going to flip the 45 over. Somebody asked me. Who asked me? Anyway, All right, we're doing an instant request, but I don't know for who. I'm going to guess it's from Mark. I'm going to guess it. But also, I got to say hello to the Fire Soul. He's listening in Norway, and it's like it's 4:22. 4:22 in the morning there, and he must be a night owl like Johnny G. Okay, we're going to flip it over. An instant request from Mark Speck. Let's do this here. Okay, there we go. Let's flip over this Anna Craig single from June of 1965 on Decca, Shout and Tell the World. An instant request from Mark Speck. It's called The Life of the Party. Mark Speck.
Say that I'm fun to have around, but when the party is over, I'm the loneliest girl, left in town. Yes, they call me the life of the party, but the last laugh is still on me. And when the people
Instant requests here on the Vinyltreasure Show. That one there from Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room. Miss Anna Craig, June 1965, on the Decca record label, The Life of the Party. Johnny G's The Life of the Party here on a Wednesday evening. Hope you're digging on the tunes. If you do, please give me a thumbs up if you like what you're hearing. Tell your friends about it. If you miss any of the show, if you got to go to bed early, etc., you can always come back and watch on the archive, unless the YouTube police, they're constantly chasing Johnny G. They sometimes confiscate my records and they say, oh, you can't play this record, you got to remove it. The unfortunate thing is when they force me to remove a song, it erases the chat. It has to like resave over it, and I don't like to do that. So sometimes, if it tells me that it's only one country like Russia or Serbia or something, I will let it stay. But I had a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I played Debbie Doval on Roulette Records, Hey Lover, and they wouldn't let the listeners in UK see, and other countries see it, so I had to remove it. So when you get to, sometimes if you ever see it, one of the videos and it's silent, I was forced to remove that song. It's unfortunate. I'm playing real records here. I paid for these records. I should be able to play them. Let's continue. Johnny G ranting off here. For this next singer, he's from Naples, Texas, born Arzel Hill, but he recorded as ZZ Hill began singing gospel in the 1950s with the Spiritual Five, and in 1963 he signed to the MH label, which was founded by his older brother, Matt Hill. And in 1964, he signed with Kent Records for 15 releases. Let's give a listen to the B-side of his fifth. It's a song he wrote, and this did chart. This charted number 14 on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. It's from January 66. Let's give a listen to ZZ Hill on Kent Records. It's called Everybody Has to Cry.
Everybody has to cry. Everybody has to cry. Everybody has to cry, baby. Everybody has to cry. Listen, baby, you know and I know that everybody has to cry sometime. Everybody has to try. Everybody has to try. Everybody has to try, baby. Everybody has to try. Listen, baby, you know and I know that everybody has to try sometime. Yeah. They say you have to have money to travel along some road. Means more, pretty baby, than all the wealth and all the gold. Everybody has sorrow. Yeah, yeah. Everybody has sorrow. Yeah, yeah. Everybody has sorrows, baby. Everybody has sorrow. Listen, baby, you know and I know that everybody has sorrow sometime. Everybody has a heartache. Everybody has heartache. Everybody has a heartache. Everybody has heartache. Everybody has heartaches, baby. Everybody has heartache. Listen to me, 'cause you know and I know that everybody has a heartache sometime. Listen to me, baby. You know and I know that everybody has a heartache sometime. Yeah. I just want to tell you, baby. You know and I know that everybody has a heartache sometime.
That's the sound of ZZ Hill on the Vinyltreasure show, January 1966, his fifth release on Kent Records. Song entitled Everybody Has to Cry is the name of that one there. And here's a record I found in the wild for 10 cents long time ago. Can't go wrong. Used to go to 303 Flea Market. It was a drive-in over in Rockland County, Orangeburg in Rockland County, and used to cross over the Tappan Zee Bridge on a Sunday morning, get there early. You had to walk on these rocks. Well, you know how you go to the drive-in movie and you pull your car up and they had those little speakers on the side there that you put into your car window and roll the window up. Well, this was like a shutdown drive-in, and it was really cool for setting up there. And I used to get there early, and somebody from Brooklyn would come up there, and he'd find records in basements and whatnot, and this was in there it was either a dime or a quarter, because I couldn't afford anything else. But they're out of Chicago. It's a girl group. They're called the Dinettes, and appears to be their only release. Came out on Constellation Records. Interesting thing is that it was written by Maurice Williams. Of course, he was the lead singer of the Zodiacs. They had a big #1 national hit on Herald with Stay in 1960. But he also arranged this tune, and it was produced by Bill Shepard, March 65. They're called the Dinettes, Dynettes, on Constellation Records. The song is called New Guy. March 1965, girl group sounds here on the All 60s edition, the Dinettes. Dinettes on the Constellation label. New Guy is the name of the tune. Took a chance on that 45. Well worth a dime or a quarter that I paid. As we continue here, up next, a special request for listener Jeff K. sent me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. That's the best way to make your requests. And he requested both sides of this 45, so there's no need to ask Johnny G to flip it over, as this is an interracial sextet group based in Vancouver, British Columbia, formed back in 1966. The group included Tommy Chong, who of course later would be half of the comedy duo Cheech and Chong. I think he was a guitarist for the group, and they had 3 releases on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Gordy record label. This was their debut single, charted number 44 on Cashbox, 29 on Billboard, number 5 on the R&B chart, and a number 2 record on WFEC in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. This is from February 68. Give a listen to Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers. This is by request for Jeff K. on the Gordy label. It's called Does Your Mama Know About Me? For Jeff.
Understanding, or does he think the usual way? Maybe I shouldn't worry, but I've been through this before, and I'd like to get things straight before I'm knocking on your door. Does she notice what I about your friends? Do you care what people say? You accept the burdens I know will surely come your way. Maybe I shouldn't worry, but I've been through this before, and I'd like to get things straight before I'm knocking on your door. Every day I see it grow, and I don't want to let it go. I guess that's why I gotta know. Does your mama know about me? Does your mama know about me? Does your mama know?
That's going out to Jeff K. there. That's Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers, February 1968 release. That's their first release on the Gordy label. Does Your Mama Know About Me is the name of the tune. Hopefully your mama, my mama knows about me. She sees me playing these records downstairs on the tablet there. She does. But Jeff also wants Johnny G to flip it over. Give a listen to the flip side here. But before we do that, I need to read that public announcement for Oldies and More Radio, as I get this needle on here, not right, there you go, as we have to do this in the month of May, that please support us. Now, Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 50s, 60s, and early 1970s, 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by you, our listeners. Now, all the DJs and staff, we volunteer our time here, and our only source of support here on the station are donations from our listeners. Donations will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting, and rental of our radio server. Now, you can make a donation by using PayPal. There's a link on our webpage. If you go to www.oldiesandmoreradio.com, there is a tab there. You can click it and support us. Now, any support is welcome. Now, if you can't send anything, you're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room. And thank you and welcome to Oldies and More Radio. You can also send your records to Johnny G. But if you do donate, please tell them that you are a listener of the Vinyltreasure Show. That will mean a lot to Johnny G. Now, let's flip over this first release on Gordy by Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers from February 1968. And it is a B-side here going out to Jeff K. It's actually a cover tune that, whoops, I lost my place. This is a cover song. Was first recorded by the Temptations as a B-side to their February 1966 release, Get Ready. So if you have that 45 and flip it over, you'll get this tune. But this is a cover by Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers, written by Smokey Robinson, Warren Moore, and Bobby Rogers, produced by Berry Gordy Jr. from February 1968 for Jeff K. The song is called Fading Away.
To get whenever our lips smell like smoke from a cigarette, it's fading away, ooh, fading away. The good times we shared a lot, really you really cared a lot, like steam from a coffee pot is fading away, fading away.
Changed and it's showing, baby. You changed and it's showing. Tell me, where is your love going? Plans we were making up, vows that we're breaking up, like dreams when you're waking up, they're fading. Fading away, ooh, fading away. The good times we shared a lot, really you really cared a lot, like steam from a coffee pot is fading away, fading away, ooh, fading away. You changed and it's showing, baby. You changed and it's showing. Where is your love going? Like smoke from a cigarette, dreams that will soon forget our love from the day we met is fading away. Fading away, ooh, fading away. You changed and it's showing, baby. You changed and it's showing. Tell me, where's your love going? You changed and it's showing.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That one there going out to Jeff K, Bobby Taylor and the Vancouvers, covering the Temptations tune Fading Away, February 1968 on the Gordy record label. We did flip side, the A-side called Does Your Mother Know About Me? Yes, she does. Let's continue now for this gal from originally from Greenwood, Mississippi, first recording for the Chicago-based Cobra label back in 1958. Now, she would sign with VJ Records in 1963. She had 13 releases on VJ Records. 4 of them were duets with Jerry Butler, but let's give a spin to her 7th release on VJ, a tune written by Van McCoy. This is produced by Calvin Carter, charted number 79 on Cashbox, 65 on Billboard, 28 on the R&B chart, number 15 on KGFJ. If you were listening in Los Angeles, California, November 1964, the sound of Betty Everett. Betty Everett on VJ Records. It's called Getting Mighty Crowded.
I'm packing up my memories and I'm gonna move on out of your heart. Turning in my keys and I'm gonna move on out of your heart. 'Cause there ain't a room enough for two, and sharing your heart with someone new will never do.
It's getting mighty crowded.
I'm telling you,
It's getting mighty crowded.
gonna take these dreams of mine and I'm gonna move on out of your life. Stop wasting my time and I'm gonna move on out of your life. 'Cause there ain't a room enough for 3 in dreams that were made for you and me. And so you see,
It's getting mighty crowded.
it's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
I'm saving you the trouble of putting me down. Starting on the double, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna shop around. Find myself another heart where I can live all by myself. Gonna find myself a heart I don't have to share with nobody else. 'Cause you didn't treat me like you should, and sticking around this neighborhood is just no good.
It's getting mighty crowded.
It's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
Picking up my memories.
It's getting mighty crowded.
It's too crowded for me.
It's getting mighty crowded.
That's Miss Betty Everett there. Betty Everett from November 64. That is a Van McCoy pen tune, Getting Mighty Crowded. Came out on the VJ record label. And we always have room for those of you tuned into the Vinyl Treasure Show in the chat room. There's an Oldies and More chat room and also a YouTube chat room. But you have to be signed into YouTube. You can't really enter you can't even give me a thumbs up unless you're signed into YouTube, or you can't comment either. But you need to open an account. It's very simple. Make up a name, but a name that I'll remember. I'm getting to know those nicknames I like to personalize my listeners. I know them by Cool Transport, and I know Record Hound, and we know other ones by Mark Speck. Every people come in. Randy Weinstein comes in. They all come in under their real names, but that's, at least I know you guys. Yes, I do. Let's continue here for this next singer from Hartford, Connecticut, first recording for Top Rack Records back in 1960. Then he signed with Cap Records in 61, had some really nice releases on Cap. I think 8 records for Cap Records. Probably the most desired one, Mark, if you agree with me, would be Wide Awake in a Dream, back with She Lied. That's a great two-sided 45. But he signed with Columbia after that. Had 3 releases on Columbia. Let's give a listen to his second. This is arranged by Bert Keys, produced by Clyde Otis, and this only bubbled under on the Billboard Hot 100 at 114, but it was a big number 13 record on WWIN in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go to October 1964. Give a listen to Jerry Jackson. Jerry Jackson on Columbia Records. It's called Tell Her Johnny Said Goodbye.
Hello, Mrs. Johnson. This is Johnny Blue. I just had to call to find out if it's true. I heard Carol's getting married and she's leaving today. No, I don't want to talk to her. I'd only cry. Just tell her that I love her. And tell her Johnny said goodbye. Tell her Johnny said goodbye. What time is the wedding? And where's it going to be? You know that boy she's getting married to. That boy could have been me. But like a fool, I lost her. Her so no, I don't want to talk to her. I'd only cry. Just tell her that I love her and tell her Johnny said goodbye. Tell her Johnny said goodbye. I know she'll look just like an angel, and when the bells start to chime, let her know I'm there, but I got to see her one more time. Yes, I know you're busy and you got a lot to do. I know you're losing your darling, but Mrs. Johnson, I'm losing her too. Just tell her that I'll miss her, but I'll wish her the best. No, I don't want to talk to her. I'd only cry. Just tell her that I love her and tell her Johnny said goodbye. Tell her Johnny said goodbye.
That's the sound of Jerry Jackson there, October 1964. It's on the Columbia record banner there. Tell Her Johnny Said Goodbye. Johnny not saying goodbye till about 12:30 or so. That's the time we're going to sign off here on the Vinyl Treasures show. Now let's continue here for this gal, originally from Washington, D.C. This is her debut single on Berry Gordy Jr.'s Motown record label. Now the song written by Smokey Robinson. Now the original title of this was called Goodbye Cruel World, but Berry Gordy thought that this title was too cruel to keep it that way, so he changed it. And this was a number 13 record on WEEB in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's go to January 1963 on Motown Records for Linda Griner. We're going to send this one out to Chris Williamson. Chris Williamson, Linda Griner on Motown Records with her tune called Goodbye, Cruel Love. January 1963 release there for Linda Griner. Linda Griner on the Motown record label. Goodbye Cruel Love is the name of the two. Now with her next releases beginning in 1965, she would change her name to Lynn Roman. She had releases on Mercury, Dot, Brunswick, and other labels. And I would think you guys are twisting my arm to flip over this 45, so I can't resist. I'm just gonna have to flip it over here. So give me a second. Put this on. There we go. So here you go. Let's flip over Goodbye Cruel World, aka Goodbye Cruel Love, from January 63 by Linda Griner, aka Lynn Roman on Motown Records. You get this cool tune. It's called Envious.
Envious, why should she be so envious? She says that I've got diamond rings and furs and things, and even though it's true, still I'm blue, so blue. Envious, I can't see why she's envious, 'cause even though I've got the things that seem so real, she doesn't know how blue I feel, 'cause she's got you. It's so strange how things turn out, how funny life can be. I envy her 'cause she has you, and now I find out that she envies me. Envious, she's such a fool to be envious, 'cause I would gladly trade the things that I possess for just one kiss, one sweet caress from you. Which goes to show that I envy her too. I really do envy her too. I really do envy her.
January 63 there, Linda Griner on the Motown record label. It's not good to be envious, but it is a great song, I have to admit. Great two-sided 45. Johnny G here on a Wednesday evening. I hope I didn't say Saturday, because I got that melted in my mind. But we're here Wednesday. We're here Wednesday. We're here Saturdays too. We're here Wednesdays with the All Soul Show from 9 to midnight. Let's continue here. Now, on August 14th, 1965, Billboard magazine had an article about a new label. It was called Turntable Records, announcing its first product to be released, is how they called it back then. Product, I guess. And it was a new indie label where retailer Sam Goody was the major stockholder, announcing releases by George Smith and Susan King, and other artists too that were under contract included Vince Carey, Bobby Bobby Harry, Gay Jamison, and Susan Raffi. Now here is a debut single for Vince Carey that they mentioned, written and arranged by O.D. Jamison and Robert Banks. We go to September of 1965. Give a listen to Vince Carey on Turntable Records. It's called Don't Worry.
It may seem strange, the things that I do. People may see me with one girl or two. Oh yeah, but don't worry. Baby, don't you worry. No, no, don't worry. Baby, don't you worry. I belong to you. I belong to you. People gonna talk. They're gonna talk anyway. They're just my friends. Forget what they say, or just forget it. But don't worry. No, no, don't worry. I belong to you. I belong to you. Happiness is within our reach. I wanna let you know it, yeah. Our love is so strong, baby. Let's show it. All people gonna talk. Just forget what they say, because we're together. Together to stay, just me and you. But don't worry. No, no, don't worry. I belong to you. I belong to you. Baby, don't you worry. I said I belong.
I see buffering on my thing there. Now it's off. I wonder if that was for the copyright thing they had when I played that Envious record. Anyway, there you go. That's the September 1965 release. Vince Carey's his name on the Turntable record label. Don't Worry is the name of the tune. And I messed that up. I forgot the S. I said Harry. It's Bobby Harris. Thanks for that correction, Mark Speck, as we continue here on the All 60s edition. And this next gal, originally from Oakland, California, but she relocated to Chicago, Illinois, first recording in 1966 for the Special Agent label. She would have her biggest hit in 1968, was her fourth release on the Brunswick label. You may know the song. It was called Love Makes a Woman. And let's give a spin to her seventh of 19 on the Brunswick label, that which includes, I'm including duets she had with Gene Chandler. Now, her backing track on this release is another release that came out as an instrumental on Brunswick by the Young Holt Unlimited. If you're familiar with a song called Soulful Strut, a tune written by Eugene Record and William Sanders, it charted. That is the backing track to this tune. This charted number 79 on Billboard, 52 on Cashbox, 33 on the R&B chart, a big number 8 record. If you were listening on WAVZ in New Haven, Connecticut, we go to January 1969 for Barbara Acklin. Barbara Acklin on Brunswick Records. The song is called Am I the Same Girl?
Why don't
January 69 release there for Barbara Acklin. That's on Brunswick Records. That's her 7th release on the Brunswick label. Am I the Same Girl is the name of the tune, singing to the Young Holt Unlimited tune Soulful Strut, which was a big number 3 record for that group. It was on the Brunswick record label. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition here. I don't know what's going on with my stream there. It looks like it just, there's a circle, but it continues to record. So something weird going on. But anyway, this group originally from Harvey, Illinois, first recorded as the L Rays back in 1954 for Checker Records, and they signed with Vivian Carter's VJ label in 1955 for 17 releases between 55 and 65. This is their 16th release, a tune written by Barrett Strong, Wade Flemons, and Bobby Miller. It features Marvin Jr. on lead. This is the first release of this record from, was number 122. It bubbled under on the Billboard Bubbling Under chart. Was number 23 on the R&B, a Big 5, number 5 record on WVON in Chicago, Illinois from April 65. Give a listen to the Dells on VJ and their tune called Stay in My Corner. The Dells.
If you stay, darling, in my corner, you make me oh so proud. Stay, darling, please stay in my corner. To the world I'd cry out loud how I love you. Honey, I love you. I really love you. Stay. Please, please, please. Stay, darling. Stay in my corner. And I will never, never let you down. Just say you'll stay. Stay in my corner. 'Cause I'll need you always around to tell me you love me, honey, you love me. So darling, stay, 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 stay. There'll be times when I may fail. I'll need your love to comfort me. Bitter deeds may prevail, but just a kiss from you will make them sweet. Oh, stay, stay, one more time. But just a kiss from you will make them sweet. Honey, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
That's the sound of the Dells here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. April 1965, Marvin Jr. on lead, the first go-round of Stay in My Corner on VJ Records. The song would be re-recorded in June of 1968 on Cadet Records, was a major hit for them, number 16 on Cashbox, 10 on Billboard, a big number one R&B hit for them. Did much better the second time around, but it's 6 minutes and 10 seconds. I have that record here for an emergency. If I have to run downstairs and do something with the parents down there, I got 6 minutes and 10 seconds to get it done, or anything else that may come up as we continue here on Vinyl Treasures. Now, here's one of my favorite female British singers, and her name was Mary O'Brien. It was very sad when she passed away on March 2nd of 1999 from breast cancer. She was 59 years old. Now, she had a very soulful voice, and after she left Philips Records, she signed with Atlantic, the Atlantic label, in 1968. She had 12 releases on the Atlantic label. This is her seventh, a tune written by Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff. This charted number 79 on Billboard, 60 on Cashbox, number 7 on WSGN in Birmingham, Alabama. We go to January 1970, a touch of the 70s for Miami Santi, Dusty Springfield on Atlantic, and her tune called Silly, Silly Fool. Touch of the 70s here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. Dusty Springfield there on Atlantic Records from January 1970. That's her seventh release for Atlantic Records. Silly, Silly Fool is that tune there. Johnny G, not a silly fool, not on a Wednesday night. As we continue here, let's go out to Los Angeles, California for this group. They were an offshoot of the 1950s vocal group, the Lamplighters, Tenderfoots, and Sharps. They also recorded under different aliases beginning in 1962 when they signed with Liberty Records. They became, well, I should say in 1962, they became the Rivingtons. They had all those Papa Surfing Bird, Papa Uma Mau Mau and all that stuff that they do, all those novelty record tunes. But here is a serious note, but they had releases on Reprise, the ARE label, VJ Records, and Columbia Records. This is their first of 3 for Columbia. From April 66, these are the Rivingtons on Columbia. It's called Tend to Business.
I met her on a Monday, called her on a Tuesday. By Wednesday things were going so fine. Let me tell you, yes they were. No wondering, no blundering. Just walk right up that little girl, say, would you be mine? Never get anywhere if all you do is stop and stare. Go on and get that girl for your very own. Go on and look her in the face, and soon you feel her warm embrace. What are you waiting for? Go ahead on now. That's the way to test the business. That's the way to test the business. She hesitated slightly, then she said politely, I've never met a person just like you. That's the way to test the business. Oh, no, I haven't. That's the way to test the business. But if you like to see me more, just tell me when. I'll tell you what you can do. That's the way to test the business. I'm just telling you like it is. That's the way to test the business. Not like it was. That's the way to test the business. You just better go take care of business. That's the way to test the business. Before somebody else does. That's the way to test the business. Go on, take care of your business.
As we tend to business here on Oldies and More Radio for a Wednesday night, that's the sound of the Rivingtons, April 66 on Columbia Records, their first of 3. Tend to Business is the name of that tune here. Let's tend our business out for this singer, originally from Omaha, Nebraska. And at age 5, his family would relocate to Rochester, New York. Then in 1957, he began recording with his group, the Redcoats, with releases on Dade and Marlin Records, which were based out of Miami. Then he signed with Checker Records, and his first hit arrived in 1963. It was called Every Day I Have to Cry, and that was his 7th of 10 for Checker Records. But then he signed with ABC Paramount Records in 1964, and let's give a spin to his 4th of 12, a tune written and arranged by Ray Stevens. I always check, like I say, if I see any records produced, written, or arranged by Ray Stevens, I dish out the money for them. It's a fact. This charted number 15 on WQAM in Miami, Florida. We go to November of 1964 for Mr. Steve Alamo. Steve Alamo on ABC Records. The song, it's one word. It's called Happy.
Everybody in town calls me happy, 'cause when folks are around, I act happy, with a silly smile on my face, laughing all over the place, putting on such a show
never know, so I was assured.
Mr. Steve Alamo there. Steve Alamo from November 1964 on ABC Paramount Records. Happy is the name of the tune. Mark Speck asked me a question. Would I consider doing a whole show on a Ray Stevens produced records, produced, written, or arranged records? I definitely would do that, including some of his own songs, of course. But I got to be careful if I play. It gets a little dicey. Although I tried it before, three of the same records in a row by one artist. I know a couple times, maybe because when Aretha Franklin passed away, the copyright police were out in force, so maybe they won't give me an issue with Ray Stevens, but I don't know. But I definitely would. There are definitely enough records to do that. I just have to find them. That is the thing. I would have to reach out to you guys to help me find them. But anyway, I mean, just give me the names and I gotta pull them out. That's how it works. But let's continue here. We go back to Chicago for this gal. She was 13 years old when she recorded this tune. It's her debut single, came out on the VJ subsidiary Vivid label. Tune written by Richard Parker, and the uncredited group backing her up on this are none other than the Dells that you heard a couple records earlier. This charted number 22 on WVON in Chicago. Let's give a listen to the first of two by Barbara Green on the Vivid label from November 1964. The song is called Young Boy. That's the great sound of Barbara Green. Sounds like Barbara Lewis a little bit, maybe early Barbara Lewis, but that's Barbara Green, 13 years old, November 1964, on the Vivid label, A Young Boy. Now, VJ Records wanted to promote her, to put her out on the road, but her parents forbid it. She was still in school. They said, there's no way you're sending our daughter out there to perform in front of those people. No way, she's not doing it. So it was unfortunate. She only had 2 releases on the Vivid record label. Her third release, though, on Renee Records was a re-release of this one that actually did better for her. on the re-release in 1968, number 93 on Cashbox, 86 on Billboard, 50 on the R&B chart, and number 35 on WSIR out of Winter Haven, Florida. But Mark Speck in our YouTube chat room asked Johnny G to flip the 45 over, so let's flip over A Young Boy by Barbara Green here from November 64 on Vivid, and you get this cool tune. It's called I Should Have Treated You Right. This is for Mark Speck, Barbara Green.
Baby, I see you work for the better, baby. Ever since you went away, I haven't seen a happy day. I'm lonely every night. Should've treated you right. Should've treated you right. When I think about the good times we had, oh, how it makes me sad. Now you got somebody new. You done the things we used to do, and now I'm paying the price. Should've treated you right. Should've treated you right. I wish we could have been together for a long, long time. I never really meant to hurt you. I must have been out of my mind when I walked down the avenue.
Baby, baby,
Just a crying and thinking of you.
baby, baby,
If I'd never done you wrong,
baby, baby,
I wouldn't feel so all alone.
baby, baby.
I'm lonely every night. Should've treated you right.
Should've treated you right.
Yeah, should've treated you right.
Treated you right.
When I walk down the avenue, just a crying and thinking of you. If I'd never done you wrong, I wouldn't feel so all alone. I'm lonely every night. Should've treated you right. Yeah, should've treated you right. Should've treated you right. Oh yeah, should've treated you right. Should've treated you right.
Yeah, it's a cool upbeat tune there for the B-side there for Barbara Green, the flip side of Young Boy, November 1964 on Vivid Records. I Should Have Treated You Right is the name of the tune. Johnny G should have, yes, I should treat my 45's right. I always do. Always treat them pretty good, except when I drop them and I'm not paying attention. That is a fact. We continue now. We go back to the Motown sound here with to Berry Gordy Jr.'s soul label for this duet. They're called the Freeman Brothers. They are Johnny Mitchell. He previously was the lead singer of the Majestics, recorded for the Chex label back in 1961. He wrote this tune, and the other member is Gerald D. Williams. He was a band leader, and he actually is the band leader on this cut here, believe it or not. But it's from the March 65, the Freeman Brothers on Soul Records. The song is called My Baby. They're called the Freeman Brothers. The Freeman Brothers from March 1965. That's on Berry Gordy Jr.'s soul record label. My Baby is the name of that one. Now, prior to this 65 release in 64, they recorded for Jovial. They're also on Mala and International Allied in 67 wait, I messed that up. Jovial Mallet in 67 for Sprout Records. I messed that up too. Johnny G messing up tonight as we continue here. Got to do a public service announcement. We'll do it after this record. And this next gal, she is the widow of jazz great Miles Davis. Her name is Betty Davis. No, not the actress, but she recorded using the alias of Betty Mabry. And early in 1964, she recorded a duet with Roy Arlington as Betty and Roy. That was on the Suffice record label, which was followed up by this solo release she did on Don Costa's DCP International label. And it's a song she wrote, arranged by Teddy Randazzo, and this is from September of 64. Let's give a listen to Betty Mabry. Betty Mabry on DCP International. It's called Get Ready for Betty.
Get ready for Betty, I'm a back in town. All of you girls had better hide your eyes, 'cause I'm gonna get the first one that catches my eye. Now get ready for Betty, I'm a back in town. Better keep your fella under lock and key, 'cause I'm gonna make him mine and feel to me. Now get ready for Betty, I don't mess around. No, so all you chicks had better beware. If you got a boy that you really care for, keep him out of my sight. 'Cause if you don't, you wish you had him, and I'm not lying. 'Cause I'm a woman out to get a man, and I'm gonna steal him if I can. Now get ready for Betty, I'm a back in town. Get ready for Betty, I don't mess around. No, so all you chicks had better beware. If you got a boy that you really care for, keep him out of my sight. 'Cause if you don't, you wish I had him, and I'm not lying. 'Cause I'm a woman out to get a man, and I'm gonna steal him if I can. Now get ready for Betty, I'm a back in town. So get ready for Betty, I don't mess around. Get ready for Betty, I'm a back in town.
Boy, Charlene, did I really butchered that one typing that up last night at 4 a.m. I totally spelled it wrong. Betty Mabry. I had M-A-R. How did I transpose that? That's what happens when you're up late. You can easily transpose when you type. It's Betty, M-A-B-R-Y, Mabry. Or Mabry. That's how it is. Johnny G losing his mind. But anyway, let's get ready for Betty, September 1964 on DCP International Records, as we give one more public service announcement here for Oldies and More Radio. Please support us Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by you, our listeners. All the DJs and staff volunteer their time. Our only source of support is our donations from our listeners. Now, donations pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting, and rental of our radio server. So you can easily make a donation by using a PayPal. There's a link on our webpage at oldiesandmoreradio.com. Just click on the Support Us tab and you're done. Now, any support is welcome. If you can't send anything, you're 100% welcome to tune in and join us in the chat room. Thank you and welcome to Oldies and More Radio. That is our public announcement, the third one for the night and the final one as we continue here and we go back to Detroit. And this artist began recording in 1960 on the local cable label. Then he had some efforts on McKay's and Ring Records. Now, he signed with Rick Tick Records for 4 releases. This is his second. Charted number 89 on Cashbox, 80 on Billboard, and number 18 on the R&B chart. A big number 4 record on WCHB in Detroit. We go to February 1966 for J.J. Barnes. J.J. Barnes on the Rick Tick label. It's called Real Humdinger. That's Mr. J.J. Barnes. J.J. Barnes on the Rick Tick record label. February 1966 release, Real Humdinger is the name of the tune. Now, after Rick Tick had singles on Groovesville, Revelot, and other labels, he did. We got to welcome Dave the Rave into the chat room there. I had lunch with Mr. Dave the Rave today, which was very interesting. Haven't seen Dave in a while. Although I can't say I haven't seen Dave. Dave, I think I saw you last month and for that other record transaction we did. And there was a big transaction too, bringing lots of joy to Dave the Rave as far as musical tastes go. And we had lunch today in a local, what was that called? I forget. It was, oh geez, I forgot the name already. But anyway, I had a calzone. I had dipped it in sauce, and I had a grape Snapple. But it was good seeing my good old best friend buddy Dave the Rave, and he came into town, and we had a great lunch together as we continue here on the Vinyltreasure show. And up next, a duet. This gal, she's from Inglewood, New Jersey. She lived right next door to Van McCoy. And he actually discovered her. He was instrumental with her getting a recording contract with Philips Records, first recording as Kenny Woods in 1963. Now, her real name was Kendra Spotswood, and she has singles under her real name, I think on Tough Records, but she also has a release with Van McCoy as Jack and Jill, and this is a song here written by Van McCoy. So it's from October 1964. It's Jack, who is Van McCoy, and Jill, who is Kendra Spotswood, a.k.a. Kenny Woods, on Max Records, M-A-X-X. It's called Two of a Kind.
You like the same things I like to do. I tell you, honey, it's really funny how much in common I have with you. I'm certain, baby, no if or maybe, we were tailor-made for each other. So come on, baby, let's get together, 'cause we're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind, yeah. You like the places I like to go. Your favorite color's blue, well that's in mine too. You like your music sweet and slow, well that's a good sign, 'cause that's my kind. We're gonna get along simply great. We'll make each other a perfect mate, 'cause we're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind, yeah. A better catch would be hard to find. If I should look all over the nation, there ain't a match like yours and mine. Believe it or not, we've got the perfect combination. You like the dances I like to do. Golly gee, how we agree. You like a quiet date for two. Yes, indeed, you're just my speed. I've seen the proof is my conclusion. This fall of love, yes, that's the solution, 'cause we're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind. Eating, bleeding, money, more. Gonna let the whole world know. We're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind. One for the money, two for the show, three to get ready. Here we go now. We're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind. One potato, two potato, three potato, four. We've got time for just one more. We're just two of a kind. We're just two of a kind, yeah.
That's Jack and Jill, Van McCoy and Kenny Woods, a.k.a. Kendra Spotswood there. October 64 on the Max record label. Two of a kind. That was what me and Dave the Rave were, with all these all these hot babes around us in this in this lunchroom there. Well, it was actually a dining hall. There was this big party going on. I mean, it was like, well, I don't forget what they called it, but somebody just passed away, and they were all in there, and they were drinking cappuccinos. I could have had a cappuccino. I would have liked a cappuccino. Anyway, let's continue here on the All 60s edition. Back to Philadelphia we go, and on last week's show, I played Chubby Checker's very last single on the Parkway label. It was called Karate Monkey. Now, that was his 26th release on the label. Here's his 23rd, a tune written by Johnny Madera, David White, Leon Huff, and Len Barry, produced by Dave Appel, and arranged by Jimmy the Whiz Wisner. This charted number 79 on Billboard, 60 on Cashbox, a number 18 record on WTRK in Flint, Michigan. Darrell, that's by you. This is from June of 66. Mr. Chubby Checker on Parkway Records. It's called Hey You, Little Boogaloo.
Don't you ever think it's tired of it? Hey, you.
That's Chubby Checker. Chubby Checker on the Parkway record label. That is his 23rd release. 23rd of 26 records on Parkway. Hey You, Little Boogaloo from June of 1966. It was Capri. The restaurant was called Capri. That's where we were. It was funny because I got out of the car and there was this guy handing out like he was trying to drum up business for insurance. And I'm going, don't give it to me. You're talking to my insurance guy. He's right there. So that was my excuse for kind of getting out of the interacting with that kid that was giving out the pamphlets out there in the front of the Capri restaurant. I saw him in front of ShopRite too in Thornwood. The guy looked familiar to me. Then I remembered, but he left by the time we got out. Anyway, let's continue here. This quartet from Asbury Park, New Jersey, first recorded as the Uniques on the Selsum label in 1965, then recorded two for MGM and changed their name to the Broadways. This was their first of two, produced by Joe Weissert, arranged by Trade Martin. It features Billy Brown on lead. This charted number 3 on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio from March of 1966. Let's give a listen to the Broadways. The Broadways on the MGM record label. It's called Going, Going, Gone. March 1966 there for the Broadways. The Broadways on the MGM record label. Goin', Goin', Gone is the name of the tune. Billy Brown on lead. And Billy Brown would later join the Moments on the Stang label, if you're familiar with Love on a Two-Way Street. And then in the 1980s, he became a member of Ray Goodman and Brown. We continue here on a Wednesday evening here on Oldies and More Radio, also on YouTube. You all know this gal, born in Kingstree, South Carolina, first recording for the Nomar label back in 1960. Her first two releases for Nomar were hits for her, All in My Mind and Funny, two great records that she does. She also moved to ABC Paramount Records in 61. She had 8 releases for ABC Records through 1962 when she signed with Wand, and then here she had 18 releases for Wand Records through 1967. Let's give a listen to her 8th, a tune written by Nick Ashford, Valerie Simpson, and Joe Armstead, produced by Stan Green. This one charted number 15 on WNJR out of Oakland, California. We go back to May of 1965. Give a listen to Maxine Brown. Maxine Brown on Wand Records. It's called One Step at a Time.
One step at a time, boy. You're moving too fast, boy. One step at a time, boy. You're moving too fast, boy.
I'm the kind of girl who likes to take it slow
you do, boy, take your time. It doesn't pay to move too fast, not if you want a love that lasts. So baby, don't push me, don't push me, don't push me. Oh, you gotta take it one step at a time. Slow and easy, moving too fast. Rome wasn't built in a day. It took a lot of thought and planning, so they say. Like Rome was built carefully, you gotta do the same. You want me. It took a lot of time to make the world. If you really want me to be a girl, well, baby, don't push me, slow down, don't push me, don't hurry, don't push me. Oh, you gotta take it one step at a time, boy. You're moving too fast, boy. She's the kind of girl who likes to take it easy. You're moving it funny,
That's the great sound of Maxine Brown there from May 1965. It's on Juan Records. One Step at a Time is the name of the tune. That was, I say that's her eighth release. Her eighth release on the Juan label. We continue here. We are in Vinyltreasure overtime now. And up next is singer-born James Moore. Just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, he played both the guitar and the neck rack harmonica, signed with Ernie Young's Excello record label back in 1957. Now, to differentiate himself from any other artist recording on the Excello label by the name of Harmonica Slim, he took his wife's suggestion to be called Slim Harpo. His biggest hit was in 1966. It was called Baby Scratch My Back. Now, this is his 12th release on Excello, his 12th of 22 that he recorded between 1957 and 1970. No, this doesn't make sense. This was his 18th. Oh, that one there, Scratch My Back, was his 12th. I see. This was his 18th. A tune written by Dallas Frazier, produced by Aaron Varel. And this is actually a cover. This song was first recorded in 1965 by Charlie Rich on the Smash label. This one is from October 1968. This charted number 20 on WILS in Lansing, Michigan. Let's send this one out to Dennis Fluharty. This one here by Slim Harpo, October 1968 on Excello Records. It's called, or his rendition of the tune, Mohair Sam.
Who is the hippest that's happening all over our town? Tearing up the chicks with the message that he's laying down. Tell me, who is the coolest cat that is what am? Fast talking, slow walking, good looking, mohair sound. Chicks are making reservations for his looking so fine, so fine. Screaming and a fainting, he got them all waiting in line. Who is the coolest cat? That is what I am. Fast talking, slow walking, good looking, mohair sound. Chicks are making reservations for his loving so fine. You know they screaming and a fainting and he got them all waiting in line.
sound. Fast talking, slow walking, good looking mohair sound.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyltreasure Show. There you go, Slim Harpo doing the Charlie Rich tune Mohair Sam, October 1968. Came out on Ernie Young's Excello Records out of Memphis, Tennessee. We continue here. After Mary Wells left Motown Records, she signed with 20th Century Fox Records, which probably turned out to be her biggest mistake leaving Motown. She had 6 releases on 20th Century Fox, but none really as big as her hits that she had on the Motown label. Really, all the other labels she recorded, they were really all busts for her, really. She moved to Atco for 6 more. I think Dear Lover, that was her best, or that was her highest ranked record. I think that was on number 6 on the R&B chart, only 51 on Billboard. But in 68, she signed with Jubilee Records, and she had 7 releases on Jubilee Records. Let's give a listen to her first. Written and produced by Cecil and Mary Womack. This charted number 4 on WINW in Canton, Ohio. We go to April of 1968. This is Mary Wells. Mary Wells on Jubilee Records. I haven't seen mine yet, but I need to. The song is called The Doctor.
You're the cause of my condition, baby. My life is in your hand. You're the doctor and I'm the patient, baby. Why don't you help me if you can? I'm gonna leave you now. Oh, my last go round. Cold blood done put me down. Love reaction can pick me up. Why don't you lay in your tender touch? I got to have it now. You stand there shaking your head, ooh baby, ease on away from my bed. Hear the whispering, that girl's gonna die if we can't find it. You know to yourself, you're the victim now. Pick me up, pick me up, pick me up. If you move one step further, you can pull the covers like this lost without a lover. Pick me up, come on, pick me up. I feel like I wanna move. Help me, don't leave me, baby. Come on, I wanna do it again.
That's Miss Mary Wells. Mary Wells, her first release on Jubilee, first of 7 from April 68. Song called The Doctor. Some people sometimes call me the doctor, the record doctor, although I can be a doctor on a lot of different topics. If you talk to some of the people, I give them advice. I do, especially on cleaning 45's. Yes, as we continue here on Vinyltreasure, John G. losing his mind here on a Wednesday evening. Let's go back to Detroit now for this singer-songwriter who in 1959 was a member of the vocal group The Peppermints. Dinettes. They recorded for the Home of the Blues label, HOB Records. Now, he would go solo in 1962 with a release on the Moz label. Then in 64, he signed with Mike Haynes' D-Town record label for 7 singles. This is his 6th. His real name was Roger Lee Creighton, but he recorded as Lee Rogers, and this produced by Mike Hanks from May of 1966. This is Lee Rogers on D-Town Records. The song is called Go Go Girl. As May 1965 sound there for Lee Rogers. Lee Rogers on the D-Town record label. Go Go Girl is the name of the tune, and he had later releases on Wheelsville, Premium Stuff, and Diamond Jim Records. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to these cool 60s 45s out of my collection. If you want to get in touch with me, send me your email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you have a request, you want to talk about the show, if you're new to the show, if you need any doctor's advice, just send me an email. No, I'm only kidding. And we can go from there. But thank you all for tuning in this evening, as I had a lot of fun. I always have a lot of fun when I play my 45s, because it's really the only time I get to really kind of relax and listen to the music. I kind of joke around a little bit sometimes, but I'm tired today. I really am. But I've been doing a lot lately. I have been. But I like to play my records, as many of you know. It's just a lot of fun for me to do it. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in this evening. Hope you enjoyed a lot of the stuff. If you missed any of the show, you can tune in on YouTube. Should be up momentarily when I shut down here. You can also go to vinyltreasures.net. That's my website. You can stream or download download the show there. But you can listen to Johnny G many places. But I'll be back next Wednesday night right here on Oldies and More Radio, also live on YouTube. Those of you that like 1950s and early 60s music, I play it by year. So it's not like you're going to come in and hear a 1954 record later on in the show. I play those records by year so you can see how the songs sound different, how the vocal styles become different, how the music becomes different by the time we get to 1964. So those records are played by year. Not the 60s. We're doing all rapid 60s soul records as they come. But it's different in the 50s. I think, I can't mix a 1952 record with a 1964, say, group harmony sound. It just doesn't work in my book. But anyway, either show, you're welcome. We're going to get up to 1,000. We're streaming up to 1,000 subscribers, so we're getting up there. Once I get to the 1,000 subscribers, then we'll see. We'll try to do 2 ad hoc shows if I can do it, but they're not going to be deeply researched. Charlene is already tuckered out with the 2 shows that we do, as she is so important to those shows, the way they click. But it'll be a little different. I'll have some information on those groups, but not a lot. Release dates and whatnot, but I'll talk more about those based off of my experience with the labels and such. But that's where I want to go. I might do a countdown of like a WJMO. That's in Mark Speck's backyard. There were some good suggestions tonight too. Someone wants me to do all ballads of the 1950s. I have a dance. We have club goers in the UK, of course. They like these soul records. I can do a special show at 1:00 on one of the days. I can do the up-tempo dance tunes that a lot of the people in the UK like. I have blues 45's to feature. I have bubblegum records I could play. Does anybody like bubblegum music? I know somebody who hates bubblegum music, and so does Dave the Rave, and maybe I'll do a show just like that and dedicate it to that person. You never know. The sky's the limit with Johnny G, but I have other types of music. We could even do a garage show. I know one of my listeners also loves garage, so we can do a garage show. That could be pretty cool, right? All kinds of different music, the different sides of Johnny G, not just the front. You get the back and the side and the bottom. But anyway, that's going to do it, folks. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Our closer tonight is this singer, probably considered the greatest bass singer of all time. And that's of basically, 50s vocal groups. But he was a member of the 1950s vocal group, The Ravens, but he left the group in 1955 for a solo career. And it was unfortunate that he never really had a big hit, because he should have. But he recorded with so many record labels, so many different record labels. Paris, a Baton, Decca, Signature, Atlantic, Atco, Festival, Fury, Arnold, and this label, going back to the Jubilee label, this is his second of 5 on Jubilee, produced by Clyde Otis, and it's a cover song. This song was first recorded by Roy Head back in 1966 on the Backbeat record label. We're going to close with this version from March of 67 by bassman Jimmy Ricks. Jimmy Ricks on the Jubilee label. The closer tonight is Wigglin' and Gigglin'. That's what Johnny G has been doing for the last hour or so. But anyway, thank you all. I'm losing my voice here. It was kind of windy today, but I'm losing my voice. All this talk has got Johnny G with a dry throat. But I got to go, folks. I'll be back on Saturday night at 9 o'clock on YouTube, and then we'll join Oldies and More beginning at midnight. And I'll be back next Wednesday right here on Oldies and More Radio, on live with the YouTube stream. So I gotta go. I am tired. Thank you, Charlene, for all your help. I'll see everybody next time right here on the Vinyltreasure Show. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
See the pretty little thing right over there?
yeah, that one with the long black curly hair. Come on, tell the truth now, boy, don't she look fine? She could drag a good man right out of his mind. Just wiggling and giggling, she knows what to do. Someday that pretty little thing's gonna break a man's heart. And see the sassy little disher with the ruby lips. Fine, she sure doesn't know how to move them hips. But she's no more than 17, but she's fine as any woman that I've ever seen. Yes, she is. Just a wiggling and a giggling, she knows what to do. Someday that pretty little thing's gonna break a man's heart in two. See the cool boss chick over there in the corner, moving slow and easy as you wanna. She got that poor boy just a breaking his back. I've never seen or anything move like that. She's a wiggling and a giggling, she knows what to do. Someday that pretty little thing's gonna break a man's heart in two. Just a wiggling and a giggling, she knows what to do.